Creating width throughout the golf swing is demonstrated by the best players in the world. We've got Rory, we've got Tiger, we've got Tommy. They all do this extremely well, creating a wide backswing arc followed by a narrower downswing arc. Recreational golfers often do the opposite. Special guest Kenny Leech and myself are going to show you our favorite exercise to ensure you've got width in the golf swing at the right time and you can get the most out of your shots. Let's get stuck in.
Okay, Ken, so one of the most important characteristics of a proficient and powerful golf swing is about keeping width in the backswing and in the downswing, right? We see far too many players out there. They're trying to create this lag sensation, right?
Yeah,
this trail
correct.
arms dragging in, all of a sudden, lead wrist gets cupped, face gets open. They're under the illusion that they need to try and tuck this arm in as close to their body as possible.
Correct.
But all that does is that shortens what's called the radius of the golf swing, right?
Yeah.
So the distance in which essentially our hands in a simplistic fashion are away from our chest, which is something we see with every high-level ball striker.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, when you're watching tour players and you're watching them on TV and it just looks so effortless, like this is what they're doing. Their angles that they're managing are just so consistent, and there's just tons of rotation in there, and they're able to manage their distance from the ball, like you're saying, and not throw things at it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So managing those circles, they're the best in the world at. So, you know, with my students, I'm always trying to manage that circle. So the better we can manage that, the better we're going to strike the ball, the more consistently we're going to strike the ball.
Yeah,
Right?
and I think a very simple way to kind of describe this for players is that if we were to stand up dead straight, we would play golf from a level plane here, and I'm removing wrist hinge out of the golf swing, and you were to look at where this golf club is. Actually, Ken, why don't you come, and I want you to stand like right here.
Oh,
now,
this is my favorite.
Yeah, if I was just to pivot straight back like this and through like that, we are not going to get that golf club crashing into you.
No.
Now, the golf swing itself is going to be a little bit of a wrist hinge and yeah, slight movements of the arms, but at the end of the day, we're still never going to crash into where you're standing. So it's going to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And what we see with players, if I'm isolating that turn or removing that turn, we see them do this and this and this and this.
All the time.
It changes way too much. So that's where like the inconsistency of players' ball striking comes into effect. And you've got a great drill here that you're going to kind of talk us through of how to maintain this feeling.
So I kind of got this red band. I kind of have it like a little loop in here, so it kind of fits in your left arm. So we're going to push this arm all the way up as high as you can go. Put that like right in your armpit. See that little circle I made?
Okay,
yeah, put that right in your armpit.
Perfect.
So we like to always have some, to maintain a radius, there has to be some sort of a lock or like a pressure point.
Yeah.
And that's where I want you to focus your pressure point, that little circle under that band.
Yeah, so that knot acts as not only securing it into my arm, but then in the same sense, it's giving me some awareness and some feedback of maintaining this, let's say, connection of that lead arm up against that, that body there. So what am I doing with this?
So now that's going to go in your right hand.
Okay, so my right hand.
So yeah, you'll just kind of grab it. It's, you know, like that. There you go.
Perfect.
So there, and what I first do is no golf club.
Okay.
I want you to just kind of manage this. Okay. So what I want you to feel is imagine that is your golf club. Now I want you to take it up to the top. I want you to get wide, wide, wide. Good. Now continue down and through and just feel like your pivot. You maintain that width, and your pivot allows you to exit through and left to the ball.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, right? And I can feel like the beautiful thing about this band is that it is maintaining a certain element of stretch throughout the motion.
Because I want you to be educated too, and I want you to feel that stretch.
Yeah.
The more you can feel that stretch, the better. There you go. Beautiful. Good.
And it really removes the handsy, armsy element out of it as
100%.
well. Like it feels very structured throughout the backswing, but in a sense where I can feel like this is going to produce a more consistent motion. Then if I'm standing there, flicking this thing back and through.
Oh, and if you feel it changing, it's giving, that's what I like about this, it's feedback.
Yeah.
If you feel it changing, like that tension is either sucking in, and when you get up to top, maybe it sucks in, right? You're probably, something in your mobility in your core is not working there, whether it's your thoracic spine, whatever it is, right? How, and maybe even how you're moving your pelvis is leading to you being able not to get that stretch, right? So these are all, this is kind of like the identifier, and when you feel like you can get that longest, widest stretch, and look at how much you're coiling that up and moving that, right? So you're feeling that big stretch by using your more of a body-driven pivot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing I need you to, that's why we take the club out of it. I want you to feel the body the most.
This is a great drill for, let's say, during the winter months where players need to like kind of get a feeling of how their golf swing should work in space, getting ready for coming back out and playing a lot more into the season, of just bringing some awareness. And not only is it a good golf swing drill, but some awareness of like, okay, range of motion in the golf swing, a little bit of flexibility,
Beautiful.
mobility work. I would just say for players that when you are doing this, it's very important that you stay relaxed and soft within your body and you are breathing. Because if I'm, then all of a sudden I can feel this kind of starting to
correct,
stretch too
and that
much.
it's the when is the stretch too,
Yeah.
right? So let's kind of incorporate the golf club here, and then we'll talk about this stretch.
Okay, so we've got this now golf club in my hands as such.
Yeah.
Now, are we still trying to place like our normal grip as such through
So
there?
yeah, so what I don't want you to do, hold on, let's do this again. So what I don't want you to do is I want you to run it more like that, and I don't want you to have it fully tense at the start.
Okay.
I want you to have a just like feels like it's just released.
So it's a nice amount of tension. So,
Yeah, like just barely released. Like it's not uncomfortable for you to go like, because I don't want tension at the start either.
Yeah.
You don't want to have this left arm dead straight already.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So good. So go ahead and set back up.
So this is just like, ideally it's kind of pinned between my thumb and my index, so it's not really
Yeah,
interrupting
exactly.
the-
It's not.
Yeah.
It's just kind of. Again, this is just a feel.
So-
Good. So what we're gonna feel is we're gonna feel a little bit of not looseness.
Mm-hmm.
Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna start taking it back. I don't want you to tense on it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not yet. Good. So just keep that. Yeah. Now fire that sucker and feel like it gets wide as you can.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so what happens is the average golfer. So go back down to start. They start off with trying to keep their arms too straight in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where like people talk about, oh, I'm so tense and all that stuff. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're trying to go too straight, and when they can't hold that straightness any longer, they just kind of fold
Collapse,
and
correct.
collapse. So this is the thing when I tell my people about this, it's when you do it that's very important. So you have to feel that width at the top, and when you feel that width, and you won't get stuck behind you as much. You like even hear tour players talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
I kind of feel stuck.
Yeah, correct.
So that if you're having that stuck feeling, there's probably something you're doing with your radius that you're not managing it well.
Let's just quickly talk about those two. So first of all, like let's talk about an overswing. Well, the overswing is generally going to be because the arms have lost structure, and you can see how that's going to be loose. And then for, let's say, higher level golfers as they're coming in, the term stuck would be when this gets too loose, the arms get
Correct.
high, trail arm gets behind the body here.
Correct.
Then they have to do this big late throw through the ball.
Correct.
So it's really a great drill, no matter at what level that you're playing, just to build awareness in the setup. So a slight amount of tension here of that band.
very,
I
very
can feel
slight.
that press through there. And then as I swing back, I'm just feeling like from here, it's relatively loose. And then I'm getting that stretch. And when I get that stretch, the reminder for me is that it's like, okay, I feel like I'm continuing the rest of my turn through thoracic or upper body rotation rather than going complete my swing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where, you were talking about the folding of the arms. That's why I have it in your right arm. So the right arm pushes.
Yeah.
Right? So that you feel that push out. Because sometimes, like, you could feel like this is the difference of just doing this and also this, right? So it's like, you can have this dead straight, but look at that freaking right arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible. Right?
And if you just then, from that position, you start swinging down, go back to where you were, and you start turning your hips towards the target, now all of a sudden you are in
Stuck.
no man's land.
That is
Oh, yeah.
that is stuck.
That is the definition of stuck.
Definition.
So let's say a little drill sequence for the players at home. They get themselves a band similar to this, got it underneath the trail arm, little knot under there, adds a bit of connection in. Now, as I swing back, I'm just building awareness of a slight amount of tension, but not too much. My arms are feeling long and extended, but in control. Now from here, more of a stretch at the top. Now, are you getting players to hit balls with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just like little chip shots?
It's like, I want him to, like, Tommy Fleetwood is like a perfect example. And there's a video of him like describing it as a windmill.
Yep.
And that's what I want you to feel like when you hit this.
Okay.
I just want you to feel like you're this big, beautiful windmill. You got these big, long wings, and you're just kind of turning around, producing energy, right?
Keep the compliments coming.
Yeah, dude, you're
Big, beautiful windmill. I've never heard that one before. All right, so.
of rich mahogany wood.
All right, so pivot, a
Yes.
little bit of extension there.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to chip this one down there about 100
do it.
meters.
Yeah, and I want you to start off slow.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Perfect. And even through the ball, right, you can see that I'm maintaining like a certain element of stretch there.
Beautiful.
How did that look to you from
Oh,
there?
that was awesome. If you
Okay.
played the red tees, you'd shoot 62 easily.
And the thing is it felt very simple and easy to execute because there wasn't much manipulation of my arms trying to get that club back to the ball, right?
And this is where people have to like understand, like, in order to understand the radius, you have to move slowly and you have to figure out first where it is. You have to get a feel of it. So this is why I would always start you super slow feeling this. Now we're not stopping.
Yeah.
We're not. I want you to stay dynamic. But if you're at an operating power, we're talking like 40%.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's what I want. So you can feel where the management of that radius is.
Yeah, mate. And I absolutely love that. And that sensation that I just developed there from that, definitely for me, even in my swing, I know I kind of kick my chest down a little bit and get a little bit too long with my arms. So it's a great sensation for me to even try and work in a little bit more extension through the top there, almost recreating the same feel with that band.
Beautiful.
Let's hit a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely great. Felt a lot wider at the top, a lot more structured. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Cheers.
awesome, man.